Hey guys, Civil here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe Revolution! Skele-Tek. Brought to us by the fine folks over at, say it with me now, Mattel and good old Skele-Tek. Here is going to be the final Masterverse figure we took a look at on this good channel here, Overlord Productions, for the next few days anyways. We'll get back to Masterverse before Christmas time, but we're going to take a bit of a detour, mix things up a bit. Change is good, at least change like this. Sometimes change is not good. Change can suck a big fat one sometimes, but today, for the final Masterverse review for a little while, we're going to be taking a look at a figure that surprised the Sam hell out of me, because I didn't expect much of crap out of this figure, mostly because people were kind of dogging on it like Skeletor, but unlike Skeletor, this thing wasn't a big fat steaming pile of disappointing shite. That said, what is a big fat disappointing pile of steaming shite is the fact he only comes with one extra hand. That kind of sucks. This is literally the only accessory he comes with, other than that crown he's sporting, which I'm not gonna take off. It's packaged separately, but it looks so cool on there, and I got it wedged on there so it stays. I'm not taking that thing off, so let's take a look at Skele-Tek, or as I like to call him, mid-90s Spawn series Skeletor, because of this crazy arm, these crazy legs, and all these crazy enhancements to his body. He looks friggin' sick. I really like this figure. If it weren't for the sheer lack of accessories, this would be probably one of the better Masterverse figures of the year for me. But as far as articulation goes, his head does rotate side to side. Pretty standard stuff there. It does also look up and down. That's cool. His crazy arm does have a hinge on it, so it does move up and down. It does rotate forward and back. It does have a bendy wire in there, but after review and squeeze, I'm very cautious about posing bendy wire, so I might bend it for the shot at the end of the review, but for now I'm going to leave it straight. He does have a rotation at the Havoc staff, which is like his hand now. It's merged with him. And then he also has an opening jaw on that ram's head there, so kind of cool. The Havoc staff's fused into his arm. It's a cool concept. His other arm can go out, back down, rotate forward and back. He does have a bicep twist as well as a double elbow that works just fine. He's got a swivel and a hinge in the wrist, works just fine. He's got a torso that crunches forward, crunches back a little bit. It does rotate. He's got rotation in the waist as well, but it's a little loose. And then down here, because of the restricted legs, you know, it's restricted. So you can pull down the drop down, which I'm glad his aren't stuck. And then you can kick the leg forward and back. You can do the thigh cut. And then he's got a swivel above the knee, which kind of sucks, because if he had double knees just like this, you'd be able to give him like the General Grievous Michael Bay Transformers look with the crazy chicken leg, but you can bend that really far and even forward, so curious what's going to happen with that. He does have a calf swivel. Then he has a hinge in the foot with a rocker and peg hole at the bottom of his feet. Peg holes. Peg holios. But yeah, man, I like this figure a lot. I mean, a lot. Don't ask me why, it's just doing something for me. Maybe it's the Spawn aspect, maybe it's because I like the show and have high hopes for this character. But, he's freaking cool, man. He is really freaking cool, and I think a little bit taller than a standard Skeletor figure from this line. But why don't we move right along and find that out, shall we? With a couple, maybe just literally 4 size comparisons. First up, here is good old Skele-Tek. Alongside both representations of the Lord of Destruction from Masters of the Universe Revelation. We have the Masterverse Wave 1 Skeletor and the Masterverse, is it Wave 10? Horde Skeletor, who's based more or less off the comic book and that short scene from the Revelation series. Arguably the better Skeletor if you want something a little bit more traditional looking. But my personal favorite, it's got to go on the crazy, like Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane-esque Skele-Tek. I love the way this thing looks. I think Eric Larson too, didn't he create the Super Patriot who had the big gun arms and stuff? Either way, I just love the 90s comic book craziness that is Skele-Tek here. So moving these two out of the way. I will say, if you do get an extra Horde Skeletor, you could throw the cape on this guy and he looks even cooler that way. That said, bringing in Mythic Legion's brother Mandibulus, who actually does look cool next to him, unlike the Tila review yesterday where I was drunk on stupid and couldn't pronounce sentences for a brief moment there. But we also, of course, have the infamous Eleven Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone, but I gotta tell you, Skele-Tek is a little bit bigger than the average Masterverse, I think. I think he's got a little bit of height on those robotic chicken legs there. So, with that being said, it's time now to move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the sheer lack of accessories and, quite frankly, posability in the crazy techno arm, I mean, seriously, I would have much rather have had a disc hinge swivel elbow that broke the sculpt up, but at least was functional, as opposed to a bendy wire situation. Because while I'm not really worried about the bendy wire bursting through the rubber like I was on Squeeze, I gotta tell you, this is a very thick piece of, I don't know if you want to call it PVC or what. You can't get a lot of bend out of that. Like, you're not going to get a 90-degree bend out of that. It's just not going to happen. That said, this guy looks like he popped straight out of Mechanical Animals from Marilyn Manson. And, I don't know. I'm here for it. I think this is cool-looking design. And allegedly, I've heard that the Havoc staff on the end of his crazy arm there can turn others into crazy techno monsters. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this series, man. I mean, seriously, Keith David is the voice of freaking Hordak. Get the F out of here. That is bad ass. Bad to the ass. That is too badass than the whiny bitches who complain about Revelation deserve. I mean, seriously, what's going on with that? So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.